Today on the channel, we're back at it with another WWE Mattel Elite ranking, and today we're ranking Elite Series 121 from my least favorite to my favorite.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another WWE Mattel Elite set rankings. And today, we're taking a look at WWE Mattel Elite Series 121, and we're going to rank it from my least favorite to my favorite. We're going to do this video like we do all the other set ranking videos. We're going to take the amount of figures, 6 in this example. We're going to start at number 6, work our way to number 1. Number 1 being my absolute favorite for Mattel Elite 121. And as usual, this is my list. Put your list in the comments down below. Put them in order. That's the hard part, but that is the fun part. And of course, for all your WWE Mattel Elite 121 needs and everything else wrestling related, hit up Ringside Collectibles. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 10%. Got to get a deal out there. And 121, an interesting set as well, as there is no Chase edition. The Chases have been put on ice. I'm okay with that. We get so much product from Mattel. It is hard to keep up. You know me, I'm a completist of the line. Now you're taking one extra figure I got to buy out of the mix. However, they make that up with all the exclusives, Ringside exclusives, Target, Walmart exclusives, pay-per-view series, the top picks, one-offs. There's a lot to keep track of. So I'm okay ditching a little Chase here, but the Chases were very nice for talent. Let's call it Axiom. Recently, Axiom got a regular and a Chase figure. Now, hopefully we get more Axiom figures, but if we don't, it's a great way to get multiple figures of a performer that doesn't get very many figures. So I will miss that aspect of the Chase, but I won't miss the hunt. I won't miss the extra stress it brings. It's not that stressful, but you know what I mean. But let's dive into it. Let's start it off with this interesting set. Not the greatest set as far as Elites go this year. And now some people will say this is a 2026 set. The rules of my channel has always been if I unbox it in 2025, for example, it's a 2025 figure. That's how I classify my channel. If you want to count this as 2026, you can do that. It's your list. Do it however you want. But to me, this is part of the 2025 series, even though the packaging design is 2026. And man, that new packaging is absolutely beautiful. Love what they're doing here. Still needs a few twists and turns. Not like in that hollow chamber there. I feel they could do something with that. But we'll see what happens in the future. The ebbs and flows of packaging every couple of years with the Mattel Elite brand. But let's kick it off at number 6 here. And like I said, a decent set. You got some heavy hitters in here. You got some new blood in the line. And then you got some guys that are fairly new that have had a few figures. And that's kind of where we're at with this. But as far as sets as a whole, not near the top of my list, but not at the bottom. Just kind of a middle-of-the-road set, almost a transition set in some ways. But let's dive into it. Let's start it off at number 6. And I hate to do this, as he may be, gun to my head, my favorite performer here on the table. However, pretty plain Jane, gonna have to put him at number 6. I'm going to my boy Gunther. Been a long time Gunther fan from the Walter days, the independent scene. But we've had quite a few. We've had a recent Ultimate Edition, obviously main events and Elites. Not a lot of pizzazz with Gunther. I get it. A very cool looking guy in the ring. Does a lot of cool stuff, but a throwback where there's not a lot of pizzazz here, where you don't got the Ultimate Warrior, different colors, face paint, the Macho Mans of the world that have all these different looks, and even modern day talent that have a lot of different looks like Seth Rollins. But Gunther, not really there. Nice that we get the jacket, fabulous belt with the side plates. But for the most part, if you have some of the other Gunthers, I can see passing on this one, just the honest truth. Which brings us to number 5. And number 5, we go A-Town down. We got Austin Theory. It is what it is with Austin Theory. We've had a few more of him in the past, be it main event and Elites. Not a ton of meat on the bone here. The best thing about this figure to me was it does match the Grayson Waller. You do get the other side of the tag team champions. You get the hands that get the A-Town down symbol. But besides that, I'm not a huge Austin Theory guy, so it doesn't do a ton for me. And like I said, the best part of this is matching the Grayson Waller. So 6-5. Now we get down to number 4 and gets a little bit tougher to do. But I'm going to go to Alba Fyre. One of those figures where it's just unfortunate we didn't get her other half of her tag team. We were lucky that Austin Theory was around long enough to get him to go to Grayson Waller. Unfortunately, we're not going to get Isla Dawn to complete the other half of this team. So it takes a little shine off this, and even more shine is taken off this figure for me because she's not even in this gear anymore. This isn't even her character anymore. She's part of the Secret Hervis. Cool enough for what it is. A moment in time is what we'll call it. But just one of those ones that's a little bit snake bit by release, taking so long to get out there. Would have been nice to get the Isla Dawn. Have to imagine that was earmarked for 122, 23, 24 until she was released. And now we'll find her maybe a Jazzwares figure in the future. We'll see there. But now we're down to the final three. Ooh, it gets tough down here. But gosh, I got to say, I'm going to go CM Punk at number 3 right here is where I'm going to go. I talked about it in the review a little bit. A little bit of the newness has worn off on CM Punk as far as Mattel figures. We've been getting a lot of them. A lot of them kind of feel like they're just there. A great modern edition of his feud with Drew McIntyre. I like the gear on this one. I like the shirt on this one. It does look a little bit different than some of the other ones. But at the end of the day, we've had so many CM Punks. This one doesn't really stand out above the rest. So he comes in at a strong number 3. Which means there can only be one. We're down to the final 2 right here. Does Carmelo miss? Does Oba Femi rule the world? Well, we're going to find out right now. And I got to say, I was absolutely shocked that Carmelo Hayes was number 2 and Oba Femi was number 1. Not really. I'm a big fan of Oba Femi. Carmelo Hayes, a guy that's been around. Will he catch fire a little bit more? He had a heck of a run over there at NXT. We've had multiple figures of the past of him as well. I do like this one, though. I love the new head skin on this one. Absolutely cool. Love the shirt on here. Love the color of the gear. Love the Ray-Ban sunglasses. There's a lot to like about this Carmelo Hayes. The last ones were pretty good as well. He was one of those guys that had the Chase variant, and he got the nice fur coat with him. But this one is a sleeper figure, and I would say this Carmelo is the sleeper of this set. But nobody was beating the ruler of the world. I'm a huge Oba Femi fan. I've been following him since he came on NXT. One of the rare individuals that is larger than life in today's wrestling. We don't get a lot of big jacked up dudes, and when we do, they seem to be in and out pretty quick. Hopefully, Oba Femi has some lasting staying power. Longest North American champion of all time, what this figure represents. Have to imagine we'll get another figure of him in his NXT title belt when he was the champion. And we'll see where he goes with the main roster. But the sky's the limit for Oba Femi. I think he's a massive talent and larger than life talent. He just transcends that screen. So I think there's a lot of good stuff on the way from him if he can stay healthy and still into wrestling. But this figure is really cool. Some new first time in the line stuff. A bigger jacked up dude. Always good to get one of the deeper cut titles in the line. Just a lot to like about this Oba Femi. So I knew this one was going to be high up there. Had a feeling it would probably be number 1. And he did stick the landing at the end of the day. So a fun set here. Not the greatest, as I said. A bit of a middle of the road set. But I got to say, the top 2 figures here, very, very strong, fun figures. CM Punk, you can't go wrong with either, you know. CM Punk's a very popular performer. He's always going to have a place, just like Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, things like that. Alba Fyre, first time in the line, always good to get something like that. Austin Theory, great to compare with Grayson Waller to have the yin and yang of the tag champs. And then Gunther, another champion. You got to have them every once in a while, but just not a ton of the meat of the bone for old Gunther there. But a fun set for what it is. Elite 121, hitting stores soon, but why wait? Get it at Ringside Collectibles. Use code Kyle. Save yourself 10%. You know how it goes by now. But how does your list go? How did you rank this set? What is your thoughts on this set? Let me know your Elite 121 rankings in the comments below and put them in order. That's always the hard part, but always the fun part at the same time. Check out my Patreon. Check out YouTube channel memberships for early access to all the videos we do on the channels. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and my other YouTube channel. 2 channels with content for you every single day to keep you busy. Sir Paul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and TheKylePetersonShow at gmail.com. Conveniently enough, the name of my podcast, The Kyle Peterson Show, each and every Tuesday wherever podcasts are found, with video cast on YouTube. Check out what my wife and I are up to every single week. A lot of figure stuff, a lot of stuff outside of the figure world as well. Check it out if you have not already. And speaking of checking stuff out, head over to Barnes & Noble, head over to Amazon, check out both of my books, The Complete Guide to the ECW Original San Francisco Toy Makers and The Complete Guide to the Jakks Classic Superstars line by yours truly. Worth a pickup, great for the holiday season. Well, you know how it goes. And that's how it went. Elite 121 rankings. Once again, put your comments in the comments down below. So for Elite 121, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.
Well, are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?